So, we're all gonna pretend this isn't super late and overdue. Hello, I am Vanny or Vanny Still Draws, and this video is right on time. I promise, trust me. So, Winx Club is pretty integral to my growth, not just as a person, but as an artist. I used to scramble home like a feral rat to cheese to watch this every day. Like, I had a schedule straight off the bus into the living room, watching this on Nickelodeon, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I was on it. And I meant for this to be a very simple redesign, but I got way too into it and accidentally made my own remake of the entire show. This is going to be a running theme for this channel. Now please, before we start, understand, I love Winx Club. This is unironically, shamelessly, one of my favorite shows ever. Every opinion that I state is purely an opinion. This is just wish fulfillment. I'm not taking this seriously. Don't take this seriously. So, spoiler for the entire series, seasons 1 all the way through 8, I did not watch Fate of the Winx, and I didn't watch World of the Winx. Also, the version that I watched on Nickelodeon growing up had Keke Palmer playing Aisha/Layla, but the version that you will find on YouTube will not necessarily have her completely for all the episodes, and I don't think she comes in until the last 3 seasons. So if there's any inconsistencies, just know that I tried my best to find the full complete version that was available to me, and that's just not as easy anymore in our current age of digital media. So since this is going to be a quote-unquote rebrand, remake, reimagining, whatever you want to call it, we have a lot of ground to cover. So in each video, I'm going to start with the characters first, and then I'm going to talk about the world building. Let's start with arguably the most beloved characters, Bloom and Stella. As you all know, this story starts with Bloom Quinn randomly unlocking her powers while helping Stella in a fight against the Tricks. This is the perfect introduction. No notes, keep it as is. I don't want to change much about Bloom when she gets to Althea, but I am making her Earth clothes more simple and plain just to make the magic world pop more. I made her hair kind of frizzy, I dulled the color of her eyes and her hair, kind of like in Hercules how he loses that godlike glow when he's on Earth. I like to imagine that she keeps that raging fire in her personality until she unlocks her powers. I imagine she's the kind of girl that plays like a bunch of sports, she's in like a bunch of clubs, but she doesn't feel like she fits in anywhere. She's popular, but she doesn't really feel like she is. She doesn't really have any close friends that she would call close friends. And she kind of just wears what's comfortable to her, but she doesn't really have a unique like style or anything. She's kind of just wearing it to wear it. I basically want Bloom to be on the verge of an identity crisis. She's graduating high school. She does not know what's going on. She doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life, and she keeps feeling like something is missing. Now would be a great time to mention that in everywhere else in the world except for the US, college means secondary school or high school. So the Althea College for Fairies is supposed to be a high school, but I didn't know that because I'm an American, and I didn't learn this until I started watching Miraculous Ladybug back in 2014, and that's when I realized that college means high school in everywhere else in the world except America. But since this is supposed to be wish fulfillment for little baby me, Althea is a college. And I think that the identity crisis of graduating high school and becoming a new adult hits a lot different, at least in terms for me, when you're going off to college or when you're becoming an adult. And I feel like that would fit into the story that I'm trying to connect with Bloom here. So for all intents and purposes, Althea is a college. That also goes for Red Fountain and Cloud Tower. As far as Bloom's personality, hot take, I think Bloom got a little too protagonisty as the series went on. I will never forget the girl that told Riven off for even daring to think that she would like him. Iconic.
The whole jerk thing. I still can't figure out why Muse has got a crush on you. You're a totally conceited, totally cocky, totally boring waste of good oxygen.
I would describe Bloom as a raging fire. She burns big and she burns loud. My girl holds a grudge. She rarely forgives, never forgets. Her and Mitzi's long-standing rivalry is from like kindergarten. It's bad. She's 100% the person that told some poor kids that at least her parents chose her when people found out that she was adopted. Like, I'm not against Bloom in the original. If anything, I think that she's probably one of the most characters ever. Like, girl is perfect in my eyes. It's just this one little thing that I wish that they would have kept her just being like as rude as she was in the first couple seasons. Like, I feel like all the jokes that she's made, like all the quips, are quips that any of the girls could have made. I just really love those characters who have to kind of not only learn to control themselves when they're put into an environment that is absolutely just otherworldly to them, but also rising to the occasion, because that's Bloom's entire story, is rising to the occasion, to the position of princess of the dragon flame. And I think that that would be a really great contrast with people like Aisha or Stella, who were princesses already born and bred to be leaders. As far as fashion goes, because let's be honest, you cannot have this show without the outfits. It is literally impossible. I think that all of Bloom's outfits, once she gets to Althea, are pretty much perfect. I would change none of them. I personally don't like how much pink they started incorporating into her outfits, especially her transformation outfits, but not to the point that I would change any of them. For the sake of making the magical world pop more, I did change her hair to be more canon compliant the longer she stays. In Magix, I like to think that her and Kiko start taking on more magical features, like the more time that they spend there. So Kiko starts turning into like this big rabid beast, kind of like the size of a dog. Bloom, her pupils kind of change to this bright yellow, just because I think it makes all of the magical creatures look otherworldly. And yeah, I just wanted the fairies to stand out more to the humans, so this is our Bloom. Stella is another character that I don't think needs to be changed that much. You cannot improve on perfection. Stella is one of my favorite character archetypes, the mean girl who isn't actually mean. Very Cleo denial. In this version, I would like to tap into the fact that Stella's mom has moon powers, and because of that, Stella is very unstable when it comes to magic, hence why she has to use the Scepter of Celeria, which in this world is a magical relic that was given to Celeria by the Great Dragon. More on that later. I imagine Stella as someone who probably got picked on, was maybe a little insecure growing up, and then having a divorcing family wasn't exactly helping. So everything that Stella has ever done was to not only be self-confident in herself, but to make sure that other people don't feel that way. She prides herself on being a good leader, and being in Althea and still having to use a scepter isn't exactly doing the best for her. But she doesn't let it get to her. She doesn't let other people see that she's struggling, and she would try her best. She's the one that started the Winx division at Althea, so she needs to be a great leader for all of her girls. And despite being on good terms when they met, I would imagine that her and Bloom probably had a rough patch in the beginning. Bloom is someone that only has one form of magic, so she's able to move on off of her training scepter pretty early. But she understands that, Bloom is still struggling and wants to help her. All in all, Stella is super peppy. She is a girl's girl. Her personality is basically the same. She seems like a brat, but she's really not. That's just the way she talks. She is great to all the staff members in her castle. She consoles families if they lose someone. She just loves to be pampered, but will tell someone to go home if they're not feeling well. And as far as her fashion goes, Stella has never looked bad a day in her life. Literally every single outfit is a winner. Every look eats. Nothing has changed. The design is already perfect. No notes. As you can see, I didn't even change her design. I kept it the way that it is. I just slightly alter it, but it's the same outfit. Stella, the icon that you are, this show would be nothing without you. So I would be remiss if I made an entire Winx Club reboot and didn't try to throw in my own Winx transformation in there. So, using my VTuber model as a base for what I wanted this to look like, I came up with Vannix. Vannix is what happens when a fairy connects themselves cosmically, not only to their home planet, but to the innate magic that flows within them and the universe. They understand their role in the grand scheme of magic, accepting that not only are they a part of the flow of magic, but it is up to them to use it to their true potential. This does not mean for true good or true evil, and it is up to the fairy to decide what they will do with that power. Cool, great, hunky dory. The problem is that I got so wrapped up on what the theming was that I forgot one of the core design principles when it comes to Winx Club transformation is that each girl has a color that they're associated with, and the outfit kind of builds off from there. Like Enchantix has this very heavy, earthy, flowery theming going on with the wings looking like crystals, but only one of the girls is the fairy of nature or whatnot. But each of their outfits do give off the general vibe of what they're supposed to be. This is most apparent in Techna, Bloom, and Stella because their themes are so heavy, being technology and digital, fire, and the sun. I was trying too hard to make the girls fit the theme versus making the theme fit the girls. So what you see here is not the final product of Vannix. It's just that I spent way too much time on this, and I'm realizing that they're not going to look correct until I can have all the girls lined up back to back. So what we're going to do is that at the end, I am still going to show you the speed paint. I am going to show you what is essentially going to be the rough concept. And then at the very end of this, I'm going to line all the girls up next to each other, and I'm going to do a big redraw of all of the Vannix transformations. And that'll be the final one. So in this world, in the beginning of time, there was an explosion. And most people believe that this was when the great dragon created everything. But this is when the great dragon was born. And in the beginning, it created 3 dimensions that layered on top of each other. The first being Magix, the second being Realix, and the third being Darkix. But this did not mean that all magic was appreciated. The people of Magix and Realix both feared those of Darkix. They were shunned, scorned, and hunted. Desperate, 3 witches came to the planet that the great dragon had called its home, Domino. They begged and pleaded with the dragon to take away this dark magic so that they would no longer be hunted down by those around them, but the dragon simply told them that their magic was not evil. It was a complement to light, and one could not exist without the other. This answer did not satisfy one of the witches, though, and she struck the great dragon, wounding it deeply. Not only had the dragon been forced into a deep slumber, but the witches realized that if they could defeat a creature as great as the great dragon, then who knows who else they could overtake. When they arrived on Realix, they were overpowered. Fearful for their lives, the creatures on Earth hunted not just the witches, but anyone that could use magic. Fearful, many of the magic users abandoned Realix and fled to the magical dimension, but some of them didn't make it through. Hundreds and thousands of years go by, and the great dragon has succumbed to his injuries. On that day, the witches came back to Domino and plunged it into a darkness. As the king and queen were overtaken and guards were falling left and right, the only survivor was Princess Daphne, who had fled to Earth with her little sister in hand. It had been known that well over hundreds of years after being hunted, there were no fairies left on Earth, so the witches would never think to look here. With the royal family now trapped, and the youngest princess surely dead, the witches used the remainder of the dragon's flame to create their most powerful sorcerer that would soon rise up to take over the magical dimension. That was 17 years ago. And of course, there is a lot more that we have to touch on, and we will get to that probably when we get to another fairy who has a very special connection to the earth. But for right now, this is the framework that I am building this entire world's lore on, because that's what Winx Club needed. Deeper lore. Well, thank you for watching my cringe compilation. I don't know. I had such a clear plan when I was wanting to rebrand this channel and actually do something with it. And I just went a hard turn into no, let's just make this as cringy as possible. Like, genuinely. If you watched all the way to the end, you are a godsend. I This is so embarrassing. I'm putting this on the internet for people to see, and it feels less and less real every single time. I have to admit that. If I sound more tired, it's usually because I record the outros on the same day as editing, so I know how long I have to make the outro. I don't have to, why am I explaining this? None of this matters. Um, Anyway, thank you for watching the doing the thing, and yeah, and video links here. Okay, cool. Bye.